And in this, I talk about the reality of when you know there's injustices, and even though you may be part of the privileged few, but you take a chance and say, hey, let me speak up and stand up because this is not right. Unfortunately, their lives were taken, but we have to honor that in the spirit of John Brown, in the spirit of Harriet Beecher Stowe. Hello? Yeah. So, yeah.
So I just want to close out on Teddy Riley real quick. So y'all know he a musical genius, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And the amount of songs that this brother produced, the hit list is longer than you can imagine. And he's going to talk about that tonight here in your community. Once the discussion is done, after about 30 minutes, he's going to take a few questions from the audience. So if you got your audience question, get it ready because he is adamant about taking some questions from the audience. And then after that, he's going to move over here to this table and he's going to sign books to make sure everybody here gets your book signed. That's his commitment. He said, I'm not leaving until I sign everybody's book. So the only thing we're going to ask you is when you're over there, we don't have to hear the whole life story. Tell them you love them, high five them, take your photo. Let's keep the line moving. We cool with that? All right. God bless you. Thank you very much.
And I have a special request. Donna mentioned this before, but he's here. If you could fill in these seats. Fill in these seats. Just fill it in. Come on up. I want to give them love. This row over here. Y'all good. These ones are super.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please come on up. Come on up. There should be nobody in the back.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, they look crazy. I'm sorry. Right here.
All right. Did I say monthly membership?
Yeah, no. They said the county said, I think it's a case guy. Yeah.
All right. We're going to start this off with a special treat for you guys. These four young men that I'm about to bring out before Teddy Riley, they are from Fort Worth. They're homegrown. And they are signed artists. They're signed to Def Jam Records. Hello? And they are homegrown right here. And they actually met Teddy Riley at my house, ironically, about 2 years ago. And so this is a full circle, if you will. They're going to do a little something for you, and then we're going to then I'm going to introduce Teddy. Okay? Is that cool? Okay, the name of the group is 2BYG. Can you say 2BYG? 2BYG. All right, let's go. Let's do something. Make them feel good, Jefferson.
All right.
You know, these black people assembled here.
Oh, beautiful faces.
Oh, look at me. I look good after you.
That's it.
Oh. Okay. Hi, yeah, we singing for Teddy. How y'all doing, no man, Brown?
I'm Torrey.
I'm Nick. I'm K. We all
2BYG.
Yeah.
It's Black History Month.
Yeah.
Happy Black History Month, everybody. Happy Black History Month.
And for those who don't know, 2YG stands for To Be Young and Gifted. Yeah, you want us to get to it now, bro? All right, or you want to wait till? How you want to do this?
Yeah, how you
We got further something for the legend.
You want Teddy to hear you?
Yeah, this for him, this for the people too. But yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Says.
Everybody's walking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. Tell me why can I live my life with all of the things people say. Oh, everybody. Everybody's watching all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. It's my prerogative. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
And, y'all give it up for Teddy Riley. Mr. Teddy Riley.
All right. Thank you. I got you.
Yeah, we have another one.
That's another.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we do.
Oh. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so we all see the state that is going on in our country right now, and we are heavy on love, and spreading love in every way, shape, and form. And we believe that love is in need of love today. So y'all bear with us as we sing this song. Hold on. We're gonna do this one more time. One more time. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so
5, 6, 7, 8. Good morning, friends. Enough of the announcers. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could make the world's disaster. Could change from joy and laughter to tears and pain. You know that love's in need of love today. So don't delay. Send yours in right away. Don't you know that he's going around, breaking hearts. So stop being believes before it's gone too far. Hey.
Good job.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
This is it. CBYG.
We keep watching.
All right. All right, without further ado, read my little intro. Teddy Riley
Yay.
is a two-time Grammy award-winning musician, singer, songwriter, a producer, mover, shaker, visionary, innovator, with more than 1,000 credits to his name. Across R&B, hip-hop, gospel, soul, and pop. He invented his own musical genre. Called what?
New Jackson.
All right. Masterminded the groups Guy and Blackstreet. Worked with superstars like the GOAT, Michael Jackson, Snoop, Jay-Z, Whitney, Bobby, and so many others. He has continuously produced chart-topping music for the last 40
That's
years. You may not look at it, but this man has been doing this thing for a minute. Please stand to your feet. Stand to your feet. Give this man some love right now, because he's up in the house.
I need God.
All right. Give it up for the incomparable Teddy Riley.
Hey. How y'all doing? Very good, very good. It's good to see you all in the house. And I'm happy to be here to do this with us. And any questions y'all have, just shoot, I'm here.
So we'll start off with we got some stuff we're gonna ask you, and then we have the questions at the end. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. This is a surreal moment for me because I don't know if y'all know. You should know. I'm rocking a Yankee hat, but I'm from New York, and I'm just a little bit younger than Teddy. But I'm from over the bridge. I'm from Queens. He's from Harlem. Yeah. So
Yep.
homeboy for real.
All right.
Okay.
And also, the last time I seen this guy, I was at his house,
Yeah. People don't believe me when I say that. I say, "You Teddy right to my house."
listening to his son. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, Teddy was at my house. Sure, Teddy was at your house. What's he doing in Texas? Okay.
Cause I live here.
Did y'all know that? You know, let the cat out the bag. Let me tell you a little. Okay. First of all, I'd like to say, my son's group, they've been doing their thing. It's surreal to me because 30 years ago I had a record deal. It was on Columbia Records with a 4-man singing group. That's how I first came to Texas. So this thing is real. I'm not just some guy asked to do questions and stuff. Let me tell you, like I've been in the business and I'm back in the business now because of my kids. So it's a beautiful, I mean, this man is an icon. And I'm not just saying that because he's standing here. Y'all know. So let's talk about the book. Okay? So Teddy, the first question I have for you is St. Nicholas Projects. St. Nicholas Projects. St. Nicholas Projects in Harlem, what are some of the pros and cons, if you will, about growing up in St. Nicholas Projects?
Well, I can only say it's pros for me. There wasn't no cons because if you are walking in the faith and you're walking in the spirit of God, there's no cons. It's only positive. We can only look up from where we are. And that's all I did, you know. I tried everything, even down to doing bad things. But I realized that I didn't walk in my faith when I did a lot of those things, and it failed. And now I can truly say that I'm a witness to making it from the struggle. As long as you have a plan and you're walking in your faith, you're going to make it. You just got to follow your plan because sometimes we deviate. So it's nothing but the pros for me because I got to get my music on the radio and I got to hear it in my city.
Yeah.
And then it just trickled and started moving around. And that's what God would do for you. He will move the crowd. He will move what you're doing. You just gotta have the faith.
Okay. So, in your book, you talk about this, but I want the people to know your very first time on stage at 5 years old. What was that, and did it have an effect on you?
It had a big effect on me because I was picked up by Gladys Knight. Wow. Singing Neither One of Us. And I was actually in the front with the lady that always sits in the front.
What theater are you talking about?
This was, I was 5.
What theater?
Huh?
What theater?
Oh, it's Apollo.
Apollo, man. You have to say that, right?
Yeah, I lived right around the corner from the Apollo. So see, I'm telling y'all, these are the pros of living and coming out of Harlem or coming out of New York, period.
All right.
So I was close to where God made my plans. I was close to the music. And I went to the elementary school. It was the backyard and the backstage of the Apollo.
Was that Harriet Tubman Elementary School?
Harriet Tubman, yes. And I used to stand by the fence just to see who was coming to the backstage. I would see James Brown. I would see Al Green. And how I knew who they were because my mother played their records every day. So just like people are growing up listening to my music, I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder, who I can show you pictures right now. We were just together last week. And, you know, these people are like family to me and they brought me in. It's like, you know, I'm little Teddy, you know. So
So when you got on stage at 5 years old, that feeling that you had, even though, what were you doing? Were you dancing?
I was dancing in the front with the lady that was dancing.
Oh,
in front.
Eva. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Eva. I remember Eva.
And when I was dancing, she noticed us. She was like, I don't care what y'all think out there, but I'm telling you, y'all ain't partying like these two right here.
Glad to say that.
And then she said, come up here, boy. She brought me up, she held me in her arms and started singing.
Wow.
And I got to tell her when I worked with the Winans, because back then my management was Barry Hankerson, and he's the ex-husband of Gladys. And I told him, I said, I have a wish. He said, what's your wish? I said, I wish to meet Gladys. He said, oh, I can make that happen. So he surprised me and snuck up to the studio, and I got to tell her, I said, you remember the little boy you picked up on the stage? And I know she ain't picked up a lot of boys, but she kind of remembered it. And that right there just gave me even more confirmation. When I was after the Apollo date, my babysitters took me, you know, because I wanted to go so bad, and I was sick on that day. But you know how kids act like, I'm not sick because you want to go somewhere. Mom, I'm not sick, I can go, you know, and she let me go. And when I came back, my godmother, who actually named me Teddy because she don't like theater, she said, so now that you've been on stage and with Gladys and the Pips, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said to her, I want to be a star.
It is. And the rest is.
That was it. The rest was history. And then I went back to being sick.
Okay. Another question. What was your first and or second bands that you were ever a part of?
Well, I was part of a band that I auditioned for. And I used to walk around with my Casio, little Casio, just play. But I had a bigger keyboard in the house. It's called a Telstar. And I used to practice on that. But I used to take the Casio because I didn't want to never lose music. And I didn't want music to lose me. So I kept playing that Casio in the streets until somebody heard me. And then I kind of discovered a band across the street in the basement. And they were called Climax. Until the group Climax came out and they had to switch the name. But I kept trying to join this band and it was like, sure, you get out of here.
Were these a grown men?
They would go.
How old were you?
I was 15.
It's crazy.
And they were like 20. The youngest was 19. And, I kept trying to join the band. So I would sit across the street with my Casio, waiting to see if something happened that would give me the opportunity to play for the band. So one day the keyboard player quit. And when the keyboard player quit, I said, this is my opportunity. And I ran down to that basement, and one of the guys was like security, because I didn't know these guys were street guys, you know, drug dealers. The band.
Slash musicians.
So, and I can talk about this now because we're older and you know, we still talk to each other on phone and FaceTime. Well, when I went down there, somebody caught me. He was like, Shorty, you can't come down here. And I said, oh, I was just, you know, I heard the keyboard player quit. And, you know, I thought this would be an opportunity for me to audition for you guys. He's like, oh, let me talk to him. Stay right here. We should go down there. So he went down and the guys came out. He said, Shorty, didn't I tell you, you can't audition for us, man? We told you, get out of here. I said, but y'all keyboard players not even playing for y'all. And y'all ain't got no keyboard. Y'all got the keyboards I can play up. He's like, Shorty, we're going to let you audition. But if you can't play, we taking your Casio.
Oh. Yeah, that's home, baby.
We're gonna take your Casio. And I said, all right, bet. So I went. They had a Fender Rhodes heavy keys in there and a synth clavier. And I said, oh God, I never played that before. Because the keys were so heavy, I wasn't used to playing heavy keys. So I said, I'm gonna do it anyway. I was being all bold. What's the song? And it says, Reasons. He said, we're gonna count it off. 1, 2, 3. My two hands went. So I'm playing my chords with 2 hands, you know. Now I can play with 1, but I'm playing with 2 hands to make sure I fulfill the chord. And when I did that, all of the group members, the band was like,
Yeah. The prodigy has arrived.
he knows the songs. So we got through that song. I said, y'all got another one? No, New York be a little cocky, you know. He's like, so I said, y'all got another one? He's like, yeah. So they played, I think, Luther Vandross, Searching. I said, that's 2 chords of my favorite chords. So there's. It's my
Please Google that if you don't know that song. That song is hot.
I said, oh yeah, I'm doing it now.
You ready?
That got me in the band, y'all. That got me in the band. And from that day forth, there were people breaking down because somebody must have told them, hey, we got a little keyboard player. He's sitting on phone books. He's playing. And then everybody started talking about me. And around that way, we did have musicians like Leroy Burgess with the Aleems.
Yes.
And we had the Ivory, the Black Ivory.
That guy, okay.
All of them. And they were all living in the same area. So they started noticing that we had a contest. Now, my band wasn't the only band in Harlem.
Yeah.
It was my band, it was Keith Sweat's band,
Jamila.
Jamila, and it was Johnny Kemp's band, Kinky Fox. And that's how we all knew each other, from playing the New York circuit. So we would go to one bar, play here, and then Jamila would be here, and Kinky Fox would be here, we would rotate. We would go to the same bars and perform. So came time for contests. It was the Big Apple, New York contest of the bands. And my band competed against Keith Sweat's band. And I was in 2 bands. I was in a band and a group. The group was called Kids at Work. Don't look it up. Kids at Work. We had, we came up around the same time as Dr. Dre with the Wrecking Crew. I was with Dr. Dre 2 weeks ago, and I said, man, we were Jerry Curls at the same time. He was like, yeah. I said, yeah, using that Wrecking Crew, I seen your Jerry Curls, and I know you seen mine. But we was just kind of comparing, like we started at the same time. We were just, in 2 coasts. But with this, I almost wasn't eligible to actually be in the contest because I was underage. So there was a gentleman who was like my mentor. He's like an uncle to me, and his name was Edwin Birdsong. Edwin Birdsong was one of the producers and writers of Key to Life. I think it's Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. He did a lot of Stevie Wonder mixes. Y'all look this up because we got to know our people. And I'm giving them his flowers. I'm giving everybody flowers who's responsible for me being here today.
All right.
And I do it all the time. And there's people in the music business and people out of the music business. And if they wasn't there for me, I probably wouldn't even know who you are right now. So Edwin Birdsong was one of the judges for the contest. And this was huge because everybody in their bands was trying to just compete. So my band went up there and we did, and actually Jackie McGee was in our band.
We'll make it last forever.
Make It Last Forever. So she's like a big sister to me and, you know, always took care of me. So when we did this, it was at a point where they said, well, we have to disqualify Climax because everybody's not of age. So I knew they was talking about me. And next thing you know, Edwin Birdsong said to me, can you call your mama? Call your mama and see if somebody could be your guardian. Because that's how we're going to get this thing going. And I called my mother and I asked her could my guitar player, Jerome, be my guardian? And she said, yeah, put Jerome on the phone. And I put Jerome on the phone. And he said, take care of my boy. She thought they were taking me away or something. So he said, I got you, Mom. Don't worry. So when he got the consent to do it, we qualified to be in the contest, and we beat Keith Swiss.
All right. All right.
We beat all of them. We did all the second line, and that was only, I really felt like I had the advantage because I was a little kid. You know, it's like, oh, the little kid. Because, you know, most times, like even at the Apollo, I was also in the competition at the Apollo with Omar Chandler. Omar Chandler is the son of my nephew. He's actually the guy that's singing Joy and Pain on the Rock Bass record. And we used to perform at the Apollo, Showtime at the Apollo, Sylvia's, if y'all heard Sylvia's in the famous restaurant. We performed as a duo, you know, I would be his piano player and we would do just songs. So we competed against David Peaston at Showtime at the Apollo.
Rest in peace.
So I'm going back to, you have to have a story. So then I was older. So David Peaston had the best story. He was a teacher. And that's how we lost Showtime at the Apollo, because we did do some work. We did good.
I want to
That's
ask you,
my Holland story.
there's one place in Harlem that we have to talk about.
What's that?
Rooftop. Rooftop was the spot in Harlem during the 80s. And what is your connection to Rooftop and all of the extensions from Rooftop until you left?
My connection, first of all, Rooftop is actually a roller skating rink. This was like the entertainment for everybody in all of New York. People would come from Brooklyn, Queens, everywhere to come to our roller skating rink. My partner, Gusto Robert Wells, was the owner along with my uncle, Willie Bloomington. And when I used to be like the store boy, I used to go to the store for the hustlers and everybody through Harlem just to make money, you know? And I was that for my uncle until he said, man, come and work in my spot. And it was an after-hours spot. I'm not supposed to be in there. And but he did have me in there doing store runs and things for the clients, because it was a members only type of thing. And after a little while, the place started getting hot and police shut it down. So my uncle said, you know, you can't come around here no more. And I said, why? He said, because police is hot on us. And I said, okay, so can I do something else, you know, work at the office or, you know, one of the bars? Because he owned like 14 bars. And it was a sad day, but he just said, get in the car, I want to show you something. And I got in the car and we went up to the Rooftop. He said, I'm building this right now with my partner, Robert. And this is where you're going to be. And I said, okay, what am I going to do here? He said, you're going to work. So I said, I can't skate. He said, okay, well, we're gonna figure something out for you, but you can't come over to after hours party. So you come here and you see whatever Robert needs, you get it done. If he needs you to go to the store, you go to the store for him. So Robert actually later on became my partner because I had the ideas. I was like, so why don't we do this? Why don't we build a studio in the rooftop? He built a studio for me. My uncle Willie took me to Sam Ash and taught me all the instruments I need. And that was my starter kit to make all the records that y'all heard from Guy, the beginning records. I Wanna, Just Got Paid, and all of like Kumo D.
He will see the doctor.
He bought me a 12-track Akai. So before MPC, I had a 12-track Akai. And I knew once I started making some money, I would get my own drum machine. So Rooftop played a big part in me getting off the streets and moving forward my journey doing music. And we became partners and started working with everybody. Kumo G, Big Daddy Kane, Spoonie G, B-Fats, everybody. Heavy D came up to the Rooftop. I'll Be Sure, Dougie. Well, no, Dougie and I, he never came to work with me at the Rooftop. Me and Dougie went to the same high school. And we got kicked out of the same high school. Getting in trouble.
Martin Luther King High School?
Martin Luther King, we got kicked out of there. And they sent us to West Side High. We got kicked out of there. And then we ended up at Park East. And we didn't get kicked out of there. We actually, my journey there was making the music, and I didn't even know who he was because I was a fan of Dougie before even knowing him in school. A friend of ours put us together, and that's how we got to do the show. And in high school, and then we performed it at his graduation because I was in 11th grade, he was in 12th. And when we performed it, it was like a great day, but a sad moment because my best friend was leaving the school. And I had nobody, I felt like I was alone, so I quit. I quit school, and when I quit school, I started making a lot of money. I went back to hustling, but not street hustling. I just kept the street spots. And I went in the music business, and I said, you know what? My mentor, Royal Band, was taking me around to meet all of the dope producers like M2A, Kashif, who else? Patrick Adams, Fred McFarlane, Alan George. And these are the guys that made big records that you all have danced to. And when I met them, it was just on. I was like, I went to the studio with Kool and the Gang while they were making Celebration, Ladies Night. And I'm still the store boy. Can I get you something from the store? What you need? And I would go to the store for everybody just to learn all of those buttons and learn how to produce and just to be in the room. And it made such a big difference because I wouldn't know what I'm doing today if I didn't attend those sessions. So, with that being said, Rooftop still plays that part because I was still going back to the Rooftop because that's where the 12 track was. So to get my music and everything, you know, formulating my music and everything, I was there every day. And there was a point where we had to shut it down because some guys came to rob my partner and extort him. And had us at gunpoint, all of us. And you'll read the rest of the book. That's what Rooftop, you know.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
And please read that story. It's really like, yeah. So I don't know if, I would imagine you know this. but I did the research. Do you know, well, what do you consider to be your most successful year during that time? This year, just being in New York, I remember it was every other song on the radio. We had 3 radio stations. We had 98.7 Kids, had WBLS, and then I think KTU. I'm talking about every station. The major 4 artists out at the time in this one year, 1988.
Yeah.
Can you just elaborate? Because I know they had to put you in a certain place, like, I'm doing this thing.
Well, then I actually didn't know I was doing it until, people would tell me, man, you killing it on radio, like when you gonna do an interview or I've never been to radio or nothing. I was just in a kid in Harlem just making music. And I didn't care how it got there. It just got there and, people supported it. And, there was a time where I did R&B and it failed for me. And I said, I never wanted to do R&B. And then Keith Sweat, later on,
And I want them.
Keith Sweat came to my hood and we were shooting dice. And when he came to the hood, he came to shoot dice with us and he took our money. Yeah, he took our money and then when he took our money, I said, man, I'm going back in because I was making a little money there. So I said, I'm going to get some money. Came back out and he said, Shorty, I'll gamble with y'all, but I don't want to gamble with you because I came to talk to you. And I said, okay. So he said, you won't gamble with me and, gamble with the guys. And so we took their money again. But as you all know, dice games do not end well. They don't. So what we did was the smart thing. After beating them out of their money, we gave everybody $100 a piece. So that they could see, that at least they gave us some money back. So when that happened, me and Keith and I, we sidebar and he said, man, I want you to produce, I'm working on some music. I'm working on an album. And I'm doing R&B. That was the time when I hated R&B. I'm doing R&B.
The hip
I'm
hop.
doing rap records now. I'm working with everybody and their mothers in the projects. And I said, man, I ain't trying to do no R&B. And he said, man, if you could take those rap beats you're doing and put them with your R&B chords, your church chords, it may come out right. Try it. And I said, I'll try it. I was just like, it was really of an interest to me because I said, you know what, I'm doing good in rap. All I gotta do is just keep making rap records. And then, but I still took the opportunity to try something. And the first track I made was I Wanna. That's when I kind of figured out my right hand could do something different than my left. And I'm playing that bass line and I'm practicing my creation. I'm like, I never heard nobody do anything like this. That became New Jack Swing. I was like, oh man, this hand is dry. Then I said, okay, this is the style. Do something different with your left while your right is articulating the chords and making people move. And when that happened, my mother came out of the room. She's like, what's that? I don't know, Mom, but it sounds good. She said, yeah, it sounds good. But you know what I want you to do? I want you to put this on cassette, and I want you to close it up, put it in an envelope, and we did the poor man copyright. She said, put your name on it, put your address, and put the address. You can even put my name, send it to you. Because I don't trust nobody. And you shouldn't either. My mother was so tight. And I can remember doing that and sending it back to myself. And And the one thing that he said, you know, because we didn't have cell phones back then, he said, I'm gonna call you to see if you ready, you know, for me to hear. I said, man, I ain't gonna wait in the house for you. I'm out playing with my friends, you know. So he called me one day and my mother picked up the phone and she hollered, Teddy, it's that boy that came with the suits. I said, okay, mom. And I came, ran and picked up the phone out the window because she had to, you know, back in the day, you had the phone locked floor.
Y'all on the first floor.
I lived on the first floor. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, you ready? I said, yeah, I got something for you. And I had already had I Wanna and Make It Last Forever. Track done. And I even put the vocals, all of those background vocals on I Wanna is me. I Wanna.
Yep, I know it.
And I just doubled myself and
Yep.
dubbed, overdubbed, and then overdubbed because I only had 4 tracks. And I would just overdub to make it sound thick.
Yeah.
And he heard it, he was like, wow. And I'm even doing the give it, give it, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. She's so bad. All of those things were my tags. So back in 1985, I can say I'm the first to do the tags. And I used to do it on everybody's things. Yep, yep. And that means I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna talk on all these records. Everybody, and to the point I said, nah, I'm gonna do something different. I ain't talking on these records. And here we go. James Ingram was like, man, this don't sound like you if you ain't talking on the records. I said, you want me to talk on the records? He said, yeah. So we did the record, It's Real. He's like, girl, I see your body dancing on. Yep. And you don't stop. And that made my sound.
Yeah, it is.
That people know that's Teddy.
Yeah.
Even if the record doesn't sound like me, if you hear yep, or let's go. Here we go, y'all. Here's another one. And all of these were my tags that kind of made me a signature. And I say that for everybody. I don't care whatever creation. If you're making things, if you're a cook, figure out your signature
Yes.
and let it ride. Put it on every ingredient, everything you make. I'm even talking about singers. Create your own sound. That's how I created Keith Sweat's sound, because he was always sounding nasal. That's it. We had a little falling out in the studio because he didn't want to keep that. And me being a young guy, not even knowing what I'm doing, I'm telling him, man, this is what people gonna know you for.
That wine.
And now y'all know who he is, right? Y'all know his voice. Y'all ain't gotta see a logo or anything. You ain't gotta see Keith Sweat. The same thing happened with Bobby Brown. He walked out of the studio on me.
Same year.
Same year. Walked out of the studio on me because I said, yo, you're not singing it how we wrote it in the house.
Which song are you talking about?
My prerogative. I said, man, you gotta do it. He said, who you talking to? I said, I didn't want to say you because he was like, you know, he was much bigger than me. I was like, this dude got a hot head. Let me see you how can really, because producers are like shrinks, you know.
Yeah.
We have to get you to fall in love with your creation. And that's what I did. But this is how I made him fall in love with his creation and his signature. When he created, when he sung My Prerogative, he didn't want to sing it that way. He walked out of the studio on me. The record company made him get back in the studio. And he said, I want to try it this way. But you know how we from the hood, it's like, you want to get the last say, or you want to have the last word. So we kept going back and forth. He's like, yo, if it don't happen this way, you know, if it don't sound right, we're going to do it my way. I said, cool. He said, all right. I said, all right, let's go. He said, I'm going. I said, okay. So he went in, he sung it like it is, like you hear it right now. He said, I'm crazy. Yeah. We got the second verse at the end. He said, stop. I said, oh, he must have like it. He said, I'm going back in the studio. I said, you want to do it over? He said, no, just take it from the second verse, the second chorus. We took it, pushed it, we got to the bridge. This dude went hard. So why can I live my life? So he fell into his signature. He fell right into his signature because we created it right there. And then when he did that, I was like, okay, he's really loving it. Next thing you know, you daddy. I thought he hated me, you know. I thought he didn't want to do it. I heard my name. I was like, oh yeah, he cool with me now. Cool with me now. Then I made this money. You did right, daddy. I knew that was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? We became best friends after that. We became brothers. You know, and still today, you know, I can say that's my brother for life. Dope. And Keith as well. Because they listen to me. There's always something when you're the littlest guy in the room, because I was a short kid, man. You're the littlest guy in the room telling a big guy what to do, or a bigger guy than you what to do. It's, you know, it's a battle.
Well, I gotta say, that year, Black Songs, 4 number ones, 4 different artists. So you mentioned Keith Sweat. It was all 1988. You mentioned Bobby Brown. Johnny Kemp just got paid that same year. And then he finished the year off with his own group, Guy. Groove. 1988 was his. Tell me. Amazing. Everybody was walking around talking, yep. I have to give time to this special soul. The GOAT, Mike. How did it happen? When you first met him, how did that meeting happen? And elaborate.
I say it was around 1990. I was trying to get back because that was the time that Gene Griffin and I split. And he took everything. Everything, all my money, everything. I was literally moving back to the projects. And it was cool. You know, the street smart, so you know how to go back to your friends ain't, how you say, making fun of you. It's like, come on, man, we're gonna play some baseball. We're gonna do this. So I fell right back with my crew. Everybody was so cool. And but I knew something was gonna happen because of my faith. And just so happened, I got a call from Quincy Jones.
Wow.
In the projects, y'all. And when he called, he said, you know, I heard about you and Gene. And I'm just going from the story of how I met Michael. He said, I heard about you and Gene, you know, but I got something for you.
Gene was the manager for those that don't know.
Yeah. He said, I got something for you. You're going to go to California. I said, how am I getting to California? I can pay to get myself to California. He said, we have a ticket for you, and you're going to meet Clarence Avant, the Black Cop. And I said, okay. I don't know who he is.
Right.
I heard today. So I had my flight, and the flight was actually a collaboration because MCA, they were looking for me to come to California too. So I had 3 meetings. The 3 meetings was Clarence Avant sitting in, and I've never met any executives. Never. I didn't know nobody. When I sat with him, this is my first time sitting in a 6 to 7 hour meeting in his house, actually where he passed. He passed a couple of years ago. And sat in his house, and his questions was, what are your goals? And I didn't know how powerful he was, but I didn't know he managed Babyface in LA and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So back then, I didn't have no goals. I just want my records on the radio and This kind of sounded small to him. He's like, that's easy for me, you know. So at the end, I'm still talking to him. He falls asleep on me. And when he fell asleep, I said, let me just take a bathroom break. Maybe that's what I needed, and maybe he needed just get some more sleep. So I go to get up, and he said, where you going? I said, just going to use the bathroom. You know, I figured you were asleep. He said, I wasn't asleep. I heard everything you said. I said, okay. Well, use the bathroom and come back. He said, yeah, you come back here. I said, okay. I came back, and he said, okay, our meeting is done. And I want you to go home. When you get home, you're going to get a phone call. And that phone call was Michael Jackson's management. And it was Sandy Gallen. Sandy Gallen called, and at that time I was dealing with Keith Sweat and Harvey Alston, who was acting as my management representation because I didn't know how to talk to people. I was a music guy. We don't talk, we just make music. And he got on the phone and he sounded like Wolfman Jack, you know. I don't know, who is this? He said, this is Sandy Gallen, Michael Jackson's manager.
Wow.
He said, okay, what do you want? I was like, I just got don't know how to talk to anybody either. I said, what do you want? How can I help you? He said, Michael wants to talk to Teddy. He said, okay, put him on the phone with me. I want to see if it's him. I was seeing a grown man just turn into a kid. So he put him on the phone. He said, Teddy? And Harvey just went, that's it. Hello? Teddy? Michael? He said, are you here? I said, no, I'm not. I'm actually in New York. He said, the phone paused. He said, he's here. So I said, no, I'm not there. I'm here in New York. I'm actually in the studio working on a few projects. He said, well, would you be able to, can I see you? I want to work. Let's put some things together. And one thing led to another, and I'm going to California. So they're taking our information. We had to sign a 50-plus page of non-disclosure.
Right.
I said, okay, I'm signing this. I'm going to meet Michael. I'm kidding. Mom said, you ain't signing your life away. I said, no, this is a non-disclosure. That means I can't talk. So I signed it. Harvey signs it. We're getting on a plane. As soon as we get off the plane, they take us from the plane to a helicopter to go to the Netherlands. And we get on this helicopter. I've never been on a helicopter. He never been on a helicopter. Another time, he turns into a little kid. I turn into a mute. I'm like this. Breathing real hard, like, if you can help me get through this, we going through mountains. And I was like, wow. So my first experience on a helicopter was going to see Michael. And then we get there, we land on his teleport. And I was like, wait a minute. We landed, we see nobody on the land. And then next thing you know, security's popping out of the ground. And everybody got alive. And what an experience. I go, they take us to this room with all his gold, platinums, and everything. And there was a chess game in there. Chess, and I'm a chess player. So it was a chess piece in there, and that was the only thing. I liked everything else and seeing all his pictures and everything, but I looked at that chest, it was gold and platinum. And here I am. I'm gonna touch everything. So I'm going to touch it, touch the piece. And this hand just went, Daddy. I fell literally to my knees, like, who is this? And it was Michael. And one thing about Michael, he loves to play games and pranks and stuff like that. And we spent a lot of time, that was my first time meeting him scaring me. And he's like, what do you like to do? We started getting to talking like kids. And I'm 20 something, I think 27, something like that. And talking about everything, and I didn't know he was trying to figure out what do I like and what I like in the studio and all of that stuff. And he got so much information. We spent a lot of time not doing music, to the point I was like concerned. Are you gonna do music? I didn't see no instruments. We played hide and go see with the kids. Around the hehouse, we have all these gadgets, like stars of him, and this doggone thing, this robot that pops out and just scans you from the movie FX. I don't know if y'all seen that movie, FX. And this thing, we playing hide and go seek. He leads us all to this room, and this thing just jumps out. I said, I'm done. I'm done. Let's do something else. I said, you want to watch a movie? No music. But I really got to know who he truly is. Such a genuine person.
Yeah.
Okay, these songs, I must say this. My favorite video of all, no, I'm gonna say this, the greatest video ever created to me. I know Thriller, everybody likes Thriller, but mine is Remember the Time. Because of the significance of it.
Yes.
And forget the goons and goblins, I'm talking about history. And I'm just gonna read what he said. You have it in here, what he said about you when he heard Remember the Time. Okay? I mean, it's just amazing. Remember the time, he said. But then abruptly, remember the time. That was the track he couldn't help but dance while he was listening. But then abruptly, he stopped everything, his dancing, the music itself, and pulled me back to the back of the room, away from everyone else. Truthfully, I didn't know if I was going to get fired or what. He just asked me, what were those chords? And it turned out to be one of the greatest compliments he could ever have paid me, because he said those chords that you used are different from the chords that I would regularly use in my music. Everything I play is major. Michael said, everything I play is major or straight minor, or maybe a seventh. But I was using augmented nines and was all into New Jack Swing chords, which for some content were basically inspired by church chords, that I would put them in progressions and relate them to how I play with added notes. And the goal of basically having people say, I like that chord, but I have no idea what I'm playing there. I just played them differently than everybody else. Michael actually paid me the highest compliment of telling me I taught him something new. The GOAT, talking to the GOAT.
While I was in the GOAT there, I was a little pumped, because he was the teacher. Working with Michael was like going to college. You would learn what there is to know about making music, doing business, and personality. So, yeah.
Before, it's the last thing I want to ask, because we know this guy, this Black Street, but 2 more quick questions. Is there any chance for a reunion with any of those?
Not. Please give me the chance to give you consistency.
Okay.
Because there have not been no consistency.
Okay.
We should be in a position of like the Whispers, or the Isleys, and the great groups. We are the second layers here. We are the second layer, and we're not taking our stand. So I decided to do Guy 2.0, not to take away from what they've done and the history that we've made, but to give y'all what y'all came to our concerts for, the record, the sound, and we ain't playing with it. When we come here, you will definitely get a taste of Guy 2.0. And y'all already know what's going on in the tabloids. I don't want to have to tell y'all. And I don't want to be no ways or parts of it. I'm going to be 60 this year, y'all. And I don't need no headaches, no stress. And I'm always going to be transparent. Whether I'm condemned for it, I'm going to let you know. But I will give you everything that you came to my concert for. And you will be dancing, and it will be all the hits. And I decided to do the same thing that Babyface was doing, because he gave me a whole sermon on headaches. Headaches. He said, man, I don't need no headaches. So I did the same thing, but I didn't want to just use singers. I wanted to create another vehicle. And that's why I call it Guy 2.0, because this is a brand that should be going forward, not just sitting dormant. And that's what it's been. I've done a tour with these guys. We just got off the tour. We played at Dickies Arena with New Edition, Keith Sweat. Yeah. And I thought we was gonna take off from there. Every time it looked like we were gonna take off, that's the reason why I quit Guy all the time. Because it looked like we were gonna take off. Next thing you know, these guys is blowing the money and they out splurging. Do you know what I was doing when I was on that tour? That was the year I got my diploma. That was actually the year I got my diploma. Because I said, I want to do something constructive while I'm on this tour. Because every time we're on tour, we're doing after parties. So I don't need that. Everybody's hanging out. I don't need that. I was on that bus with my team in that back room, writing this with my partner and studying so that I could walk to get my diploma. These guys wasn't doing that. So it shows you, and you can actually see it. Yeah, he's the focused one. We're gonna go with focus. And that's what's going on right now. I'm not one to talk about anybody, but you can see in the tabloids what's going on. I don't have to say. I understand, yo, you ain't going over there. I'm gonna do everything to mess you up. Because you don't need to be there. You don't belong there. You belong over here, making people happy, dancing to your music. Shoot, we got #1 TikTok records. Shouldn't I tell you, yo, let's go and let's put on our shoes and get on that stage and make people happy. Shoot, Frankie Beverly did it. Even when he lost his voice, you still showed up at his concerts and you sung the records for every word, sing every word. These guys could have done the same thing. They practically did it at the New Edition concert. Because we wasn't singing every word, and I'm really tired of doing this. Yep. I want my words sung. I want my music played. That's why I do this. I do this for you. We used to be like, back in the day, go to the Victory concert, or we go to the Cameo concert, you ain't standing there, you, everybody knew all the signatures. And that's what I want people to do. I want people to round and round, grooving. I like, they doing dances.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I know.
There's a dance, there's line dances to my songs, and I don't get to see them to do this. So that's why we come in here, and I can't wait for us to come here. Things gonna be around my birthday.
You're a Libra like me. You the
Yes. Fifth. My son is the fifth.
We're gonna take two questions from the audience real quick, and then we're gonna sign.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, just real quick, give it up for Teddy though. First question right here to that.
Yes, my name is Ken Thomas. I'm out of Dallas.
Okay, I'll let him out.
I attended the show at over in Fort Worth a couple years ago when you were with New Edition and everybody. My question, Teddy, is I was listening to some podcasts a couple of years ago and I understand that the last time you were on tour with New Edition, that there was a situation that happened. I think it was Philadelphia, something like that. But my question is, was that the first time y'all had performed together since that happened?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I remember hearing it and I was like, wow, because it had been years ago when your friends had got, you know.
Yes.
And to see y'all on stage again, sharing the stage, because in the podcast they talk about all the fighting and what's going on. And but I really enjoyed seeing y'all get back together. And I was like, wow, they got past all of that. Everybody's still alive. Nobody's dead. You know what I'm saying? And to see y'all perform that night, because I was at the show. Actually, I bought this shirt that night.
Nice.
So it was Tank that night. It was Keith Sweat. It was Guy. It was New Edition was the closing act. But
Yes.
that's what I wanted to know. Was that the first time y'all performed?
Yes, that was actually, we got together, everybody. And I have the picture. It was like the most amazing gathering of us being in the room together. And we had no problems. We were like brothers. And that was my purpose of being on the tour, because I wanted people to get past and really know that we are really good. New Edition guys, Blackstreet, we all good. You know, I can't even express how happy I was to see that and actually meet the guy who shot my best friend. And to forgive, as you will read in my book. Forgiveness is the most important thing in your life so that you can get past and not leave this earth with the weight on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So,
Last question, Brian.
I just, thank you, Teddy. Real quick question. If you were to do music right now, starting from ground zero, as a songwriter, first of all, there's no storytelling really anymore these days. What would you do to build that skill as far as lyric storytelling? And then what would you do starting, from scratch as a recording artist? And then my final real quick is, how does a regular guy like me work with a big record producer like you?
Oh, that's right.
okay. If I was to write a song right now, because most times songs come to me in the craziest moments. I could be almost going to bed and my phone is off. I'll be turning it back on and I'll put it on my notes, my memo. If I put the idea down first and I'll just go like, listen. And then on the memo, you can actually have a second track. So I'll put my ideas. While that's going, I'm singing the idea. And then I sort of get in my mind, Dad, who would this be for? So I'll be for my brother right here, so I know what I'm gonna do. Cause you have to look like your music or it won't come across. So if you look like your music, it's gonna be most believable. And it would be easy to write a song with you. because I've written songs, country songs, and in fact, I've been called to move to Nashville, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I got Nashville right here because we in Texas. It's the real Nashville. Country music is embedded here. So, but yeah, Fort Worth, everywhere here. So I got my cowboy boots. I'm in. So I'm actually working with a couple of country artists, and my nephew, if y'all seen my posts, the kid that's singing like Michael Jackson, he's a country artist, and he's a real country boy from West Georgia. He have about 12 horses. He's got cows. He milk cows and everything. But his singing is impeccable. This dude is. He'll be here actually when I come back from this short book tour. He will be here. We're gonna actually be working together, and you'll see we're gonna be posting some more things. But it won't be Michael Jackson songs. It'll be him singing his songs. So it's nothing for me to work. I want to work with the boys. I went to their house and then there was a middleman. Yeah. And it's my friend, and I respect him, so I did not circle back. Because I could have circled back, but I would never do that. But that kind of blocked us from even coming together for me to work with them. Because I already knew what to do with them. Okay? So, yeah.
Once again, give it up for Teddy Riley.
Real quick, I need to make sure, we have nothing, we need to make sure, how do we keep up with your concert and everything else, everything that you're doing?
Well, now, I brought my daughter in. She's running my social medias. And
She's doing a great job.
everything. She's doing a good job. I was like, dang, I ain't never seen the analytics and like this. I was like, wow.
I love her.
They giving me love. I'm like, this is so cool.
And she
I'll
has
never touch my IG again. But I like to post, so I have to always go to her. Can I post this? And she goes, yeah, that's good stuff. And I'll post it, but because I don't want people to think that my IG or my social media is ran always by somebody. Because I like to answer, and people will compliment or they'll send me something. So I'm Teddy Riley. One word and the number one. And then my Facebook, I just got it back. I was hacked for about 7 months. I said, this is crazy. But my Facebook is I am Teddy Riley. And it's my email, actually my domain is teddyriley.com. So y'all can go on there. There will be music, there will be everything, events and things that's coming up. And
Dr. Vista on his page, so go there. Let me say, we're going to real quick, because we got a short time, we want to get through this signing. I want everybody to stand up. We're going to do a Texas, he's in Texas now. Y'all heard what he just said about Texas. I want everybody to stand up, because I'm telling you, I want them to hear in DC what Texas is doing. So I want the books in the air. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with him. This is a Donnie thing. This is a Donnie thing because I'm showing off. I'm doing a whole thing. Well, I'm gonna say,
We live right now. We live.
But
yeah.
man.
I got you. Okay, one more game, y'all.
All right, on the count of three, Teddy Riley. 1, 2, 3.
I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you for showing up. Now we are not, everybody have a seat. While he's transitioning, I want everybody to calm, because we got that vibe going on. So I have a saxophone player that's gonna calm the room down.
Yes.
I have my saxophone player, and he out here somewhere. He can come. It's his time. It's your time. But, okay. And so we're gonna calm the room down. Just while he transitions to the signing. So come on, honey, come on. And so we're gonna have, everybody's gonna go stage left. Dwayne Washington, is that, which way is that? You up, Mrs. Now, can I have all the faces? No, not everybody get up at once. I need doc members to go line up right now first. Stage, Dwayne Washington, my stage left. Okay, stage left, right here. He has an amazing band. He has Ebony Opley, that is my guy that's, he'll talk to you